Boom, Sean Miller adds another one to his first full cycle recruiting class on the 40 acres, and it is a big one. Welcome back to On Texas Basketball. I'm Jeff Howe, joined by Gerry Hamilton. Gerry, let's not waste any time getting into it. Austin Goosby is a Texas Longhorn. This is one that Duke, BYU were heavily involved, but Texas and Sean Miller, Gerry, they get it done at the end.
Yeah, massive win for Sean Miller. I know everybody's like, oh, this is a given. It's Trevor Goosby's brother. Of course he's going to go to Texas. It doesn't work that way. We've seen other guys that you thought were going to go to a school, whether it's a legacy or not, go somewhere else. So this is not a given. And we're going to watch some Austin Goosby stuff here from Drive Nation this summer on the AAU circuit. 6'5.5", 6'9" wingspan, about 10-inch hands. As a combo guard. He's a combo guard. He's a guy that can run a team. He can also play without the ball, as you see. This is a huge win because the reality is, look, he made official visits. He made a number of visits. He made like 6 or 7 visits. But this really, he visited Duke August 27th. He could have committed to Duke after that if he had wanted to. But he went on with that process. So when people say, well, did Duke really want him or not? Well, after his OV, he could have committed there. And then as his recruitment played out, obviously Duke got a commitment from somebody else. But look, Texas and BYU is where this was headed for weeks. And when I say weeks, I was thinking, mid-August, late into September, even into early September, once he didn't commit to Duke after an official visit. This thing was kind of headed to be in a Texas BYU. Obviously, Duke and Baylor were the other 2 finalists. He also made a visit to Miami and throughout the process made visits elsewhere, official visits. Those are his main official visits. But this is a huge win for Sean Miller, right? I mean, look, yeah, it's Trevor Goosby's brother. Yes, so a lot of people, including myself, knew Texas was in the pole position, a team to beat. But you still have to go close this out. He's committing to Texas today, a day before his birthday, by the way. He has a birthday coming up on Tuesday. He commits to Texas, having seen Sean Miller coach 4 games at the University of Texas. He's a guy that's all in and sees an opportunity at Texas. The main thing is, yes, his name is Austin Goosby, but here's something very important, Jeff. Austin is where he really wants to be. And I think that mattered a lot in this recruitment, along with liking Sean Miller and where the program's headed and seeing his role and what that can become at the University of Texas with Tremont Mark moving on.
Gerry, I think we all got a taste of what Jon Scheyer is doing at Duke, and you made the point when we were doing the watch with us during that game. They're not recruiting small guards. You got to have length. You got to be athletic to play guard for Jon Scheyer. So, Gerry, you look at Austin Goosby, 6'5" and change with a 6'9" wingspan. This is kind of the modern guard in college basketball Texas just got.
Yeah, it really is. And look, he's a guy that, when you look at kind of Texas, how many guys have they had like this that are 6'5" and change, like you said, have that length, have that ability off the bounce. He can shoot it, he can score it, he can play in transition, he can play in the half court. He has it. What he does really well for a big guard is he has the feel and understanding of how to turn the corner and get downhill.
Yep.
So thus he puts pressure on a defense, on an opponent, and on a defense. But he also has the court vision to find people. Once he turns the corner and he accepts the help, right? He's long, he's tall, because he has that ability to score, but he can also see the floor. That means he's creating a real problem for an opponent on defense. And like I said, this is a big recruiting win because BYU has a ton of momentum in recruiting in basketball. Look, AJ DeBonsta signed with them. They made a big run under Coach Young in his first year there. They are very, very invested in basketball at BYU. Baylor obviously was a national championship winner not too long ago for a long time. Scott Drew is kind of the school in the state in recruiting. Houston's made that a 2-horse race. But Sean Miller off to a great start because there were 2 players in the state of Texas. I know we'll get into the class, but there were 2 players in this class in the state of Texas that Texas needed very badly to win. And that was Austin Goosby and that was Bo Ogden. Everybody thinks, oh, Bo Ogden was going to Texas because Chris is his GM. His dad, Chris, is GM. Look, these are real battles. Purdue wanted Bo Ogden badly. If anybody hadn't watched Purdue in a while, they're pretty good under Matt Painter. So Texas beat some of the nation's best programs and coaches for these guys, and that is huge for Sean Miller in year one.
Yeah, 2 of the consensus top 5 prospects here in the state of Texas going to Texas with Austin Goosby and Bo Ogden. And, Gerry, as it relates to Austin Goosby, and you can even throw Bo Ogden in there too, there's a chance to get on the floor early because you look at this roster for Sean Miller, Tremont Mark, Jordan Pope, Kendall Weaver, all those guys are gone after this year.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and these are both big, tall guards with length, know how to play, basketball IQs. Bo Ogden's one of the best shooters in the country. So yeah, there's opportunity right there. And by the way, I think if either of these guys were at Texas this year, they'd be playing. That's how good of players I think Texas is getting here in Austin Goosby and Bo Ogden. Obviously, they're playing their senior years out. Austin Goosby at Melissa High, Bo Ogden there at Austin Westlake. But those two guys are impact players. Bo Ogden is a high hoops IQ guy. They can both defend due to their length. They both understand the game. But yeah, that's Jeff. That's how good I think these guys are. I think they both be playing for Texas right now.
And Jerry, when you look at this class, 4 guys in this high school class for Sean Miller, obviously Goosby joins Bo Ogden, Joe Sterling, and Coleman Elkins, who committed to Texas over the weekend. Jerry, never say never, but it's hard for me to envision the high school signing class getting any bigger unless something just falls into their lap. This is probably it.
Yeah, this is probably it. And the one thing with the 4 signees to know is, look, the scholarships went up to 15 for men in Division I basketball. You're going to see Texas push to that 13th and 14th spot under Sean Miller. And what's interesting, and obviously Joe Sterling's one of the best shooters in the country. I think he has a chance to be a quality college player. In the case of Coleman Elkins, he's a 6'10" kid that's from the Austin area that's transferred up to Blair Academy in New Jersey, up near Princeton for his senior year. But that's the one thing you're going to see with Sean Miller coach teams and his program. He is never going to lack for depth on the interior. And in a guy like Coleman Elkins, who, as you said, committed Saturday, that is a guy you can take as a 14th scholarship player and give him time and develop him over that time. And so you always have enough size and you always have enough of those big bodies to where you can play in the SEC, you can compete in the NCAA tournament. And the other thing it does, it makes for much better practices. Some of the worst practices you have in college basketball, or if you say, let's say you have 2 big guys and they're both your starting unit, or one of them, those guys is out, those practices aren't the same. You need depth of size in college basketball practices and on the college basketball team. So I love what they've done with this class. Could something fall in their lap? You never know. Could be a coaching change, right? Something like that happens. I do think they're done with their high school recruiting class. Could something weird happen with a 27 reclass in the 26, and maybe that makes sense for them? I can't rule that out right now on November 17th of 2025, but I think for now, Texas is done.
And Jerry, the player development piece too is something that we talked about a lot with Sean Miller. And you look at the current team right now, to your point, Luis Obiora, we know he's going to redshirt, but Sean Miller talked about in a press conference recently, hey, look, he's been dealing with a stress fracture in his foot. We got to get him back on the court because he needs that practice time to go up against Lucina Traore and Modest Wilkatitis just to get an idea of what it's going to be like. We hear that John Clark may be headed for a redshirt. So even in the modern portal NIL rev share era of college basketball, Jerry, you can still develop guys.
Yo, absolutely. And you have to. I mean, and you have to. And look, not all these guys can be top 40 guys in the country either, right? Has to be roster balance due to NIL. I mean, you look at some of the best programs going right now in college basketball outside of, Duke or a couple of blue bloods. These guys aren't the most highly ranked guys. Hell, there's the international piece. So some of these guys aren't even ranked at all unless you're looking at international prospect rankings. But yeah, that Texas, I think, is going about building this roster very smart. You got your frontline guards, your name, your highly recruited guys, the guys you need to win inside this state. Those are really big, and those are impact players for Texas. In a Joe Sterling, he's just one of the best shooters in the country. Period. And he's got size. He's 6'4" without shoes on. So it's not like you took an undersized guy. He's a 6'4" guy without shoes on that's a 45% career three-point shooter. So Texas has addressed the shooting in the program. They've addressed continued size at guard, bringing in another big for this roster, and they can develop him and Coleman Elkins. I think Sean Miller is pushing all the right buttons from a recruiting standpoint right now in his first class. Look, even the couple of guys they lost out on, Cameron Williams goes to Duke over Arizona and Texas. He's a top 5 player in the country. And Texas positioned themselves to be right there in the end with a top 5 guy in the country. And you know how many schools wanted to get in on him? Everybody. but everybody couldn't. And Sean Miller's showing some chops. They got Darren Rippey on OV, multiple other guys they could have had on OVs. So Sean Miller and those guys are pushing all the right buttons in recruiting, and I really like how they're building the roster.
All right, once again, congratulations to Austin Goosby on his commitment to Texas. Congratulations to the Goosby family and the members of the 2026 Texas recruiting class. Jerry, does this mean we can finally start looking ahead to that 27 class within the state of Texas?
I think we can. Now, and you know what you're looking for in basketball recruiting? Is anybody in 27 going to try to reclass 26 in the spring? And is that somebody that maybe a Texas might be interested? We'll see. I mean, a 27 class is pretty much out there for Texas right now. Marcus Spears, son of Marcus Spears Jr., son of Marcus Spears. Obviously, Dawson Batiste out there. Reese Alston is out there. There's a number of out-of-state guys out there as well. But again, this is a great day for Texas basketball under Sean Miller to get Austin Goosby because of who you beat. And you beat BYU, you beat Duke, you beat Baylor, you beat Miami, you beat a number of blue Kansas. He made an unofficial visit to SMU, made it really difficult. They did everything they could. He made an OV there. UCLA was trying to get him the OV. Texas beat out some of the best programs in the country. For one of the best players in the country that happens to be a guy you needed to get in Austin Goosby. And I think Austin Goosby has got a tremendous game skill set for the college game. And I'll say one other thing, Jeff, I should have said earlier in the show. Another reason I love Austin Goosby, he's not a lock to be a one-and-done player at all. He could be a 2-year player at Texas. That, when you look at this class, if that indeed happens and you have a 2-year player in Austin Goosby and a 3-4-year player in Bo Ogden and develop guys you can really develop for the long haul with those two guys, I think that's a really sound recruiting class.
All right, Jerry, thanks for the knowledge and expertise as always. Thank you to Matthew behind the scenes for producing it. Don't forget to get over to ontexasfootball.com for more hoops and recruiting information. Again, the promo code is OTFOG. If you're not a member, that'll get you 1 year of access for $39.95. Make sure that you like this video and that you're subscribed to the On Texas Football YouTube channel for the latest On Texas basketball info. And don't forget the On Texas Basketball Instagram account if you're on social media. Got plenty of graphics and good stuff there on the Instagram account. For Jerry, for Matthew, for the entire On Texas Football staff, I'm Jeff Howe. Thank you so much for watching and listening. And until next time, hook 'em.